Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good evening. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And wow, I don't know who did the music for that trailer, but I want the whole album now. That is from the video trailer for The Saints, which is coming out from Allegiance Arts and is written by Mike Barron. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Man, it has been a week in comics. And only in the last 2 days has it been a week in comics, it seems.
What happened?
You've been in this business a while, Mike. So I don't know if it's always been this crazy, and I just now notice it. But did you see that story coming out of England, the convention that they were having there?
No.
Okay, so there's a convention in England called Thought Bubble, and they had a list of different attendees who were going to be there.
Hang on a second, RJ.
We got puppy dog problems.
Keep going.
Okay, so anyway, one of the small press guests saw the guest list, and she put out a thing on Twitter that she was not going to attend. And can you imagine why she was not going to attend?
Because Frank Miller was going to be there.
Because Frank Miller was going to be there. So what do the conventioners do? Do they decide, well, Frank's a big draw. There's going to be a lot of people coming here to see him. We're sorry that you can't make it, but we have to keep him here. No, they do the exact opposite, and they disinvite Frank freaking Miller from a convention.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for a comic he did 10 years ago that she feels offended by.
Yeah.
Have you had many dealings with Frank in your career?
Well, we used to hang out at conventions when he would talk to mortals, but since he ascended to Hollywood, it's impossible for us little folks to get in touch with him. So no, I haven't had any dealings with Frank in a long time, at least 10 years.
I've never talked to anybody who's known him personally or had any Frank stories to talk through, but I don't know if he's healthy and doing well. It looks like he's aged pretty hard in the last 10 years.
That's true.
And I know he said that he had some issues that he worked out, and thankfully they are worked out. But he's apologized for this book. He was in a bad place when he wrote it. It wasn't a great book, but never apologize for your art, is my opinion.
I don't know why he apologized. Did he apologize for painting jihadists as terrorists? Why would he apologize for that?
I don't know. And why apologize anyway? Because it doesn't work. The convention,
Nope.
The convention apologized for inviting him in the first place. And you know what? Didn't matter. She's still not going. And now everybody's mad at the convention people for them taking too long. Now they want you to go back in time and do it faster, which they know you can't do.
Well, that's the problem with cancel culture. Is if you can never apologize to these people because it only incurs more wrath. Then they double down on their hatred. And they should just let people be people. It's not like he threw a puppy out of a racing automobile.
Yeah, exactly. And Jazz Crab, I kind of agree with you there. People reacting to these fools makes it worse.
Yeah, Jazz Crab is correct.
And of course, I'm just as guilty. I wrote an entire article on my website, criticalblast.com, about it because it was an opinion that I had, and I just felt I needed to exercise it. Well, other than that,
what else is happening in comics this week?
I've been collecting comics for years, and I've decided to take up a new hobby. Just today, mind you, this fella here was beating his way.
Yeah, Mothra.
Yeah. I took pictures of him, and then I was like, somebody said, "Hey, why don't you, just pin him?" I'm like, "Can I do that?" I have no idea what I'm doing. So I've got him in the jar with the thing of rubbing alcohol and water in a paper towel taped to the top. He's supposed to be there for 2 days and be all hydrated. Yes. And then I'll work on the pinning.
Oh, I thought you were trying to resurrect him.
Oh, no, he's still alive in here. I mean, if I, he's not long for this world. He wasn't long for this world when I picked him up. Otherwise, I'd have just shoot him off. But, you know what? I think his wings are fluttering lightly.
That's bugging me.
What's bugging you?
Seeing this creature.
He's a big one.
Yeah.
He's a big one. But he was pretty much gone when I saw him laying on the ground there, because I was like shooing him along, and he wasn't having any of it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Maybe he's just succumbed to old age.
Yeah. Well, he was flying around crazy in the garage last night because I was down there. What was that? I was down there closing the garage door, and I saw this beating thing in the far corner. I went over to check. I thought a bird got in there again. And then he just came at me and started flying over the place. I'm like, holy crap, that's a moth. And he looked a lot bigger than that. So it might not even be the same one. But I think he just beat his head too many times against corners. And then he was just laying on the concrete ground. And now he's going to be in a frame for the rest of my life. Right after his is over with. I've never done this kind of thing before.
And you'll never do it again.
Probably not. Yeah, it's. I looked at the videos on how to do it. And it's like, it's way too much damn work. But I've never seen one like this. This area of Arkansas, I'm like, I swear to God, it's like I'm living in Australia. I just see new and different animals every day, right here in my yard. I've got deer all the time, of course, and now I've got the groundhogs. I might have showed you the picture of the scorpion that came up my bathtub drain.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, I'll show you that. I'll show you that sometime. I'll send you a DM on that one later.
By all means.
I got in the shower. I opened the curtain. Here's this scorpion sitting. I'm like, holy crap. what the hell is this doing here? And then, of course, this giant lunar, not a lunar moth. It's an emperor moth. So apparently it's a thing of good luck. Not for the moth so much, but so I found out at the last minute that you've been having a campaign for the last 60 days, and we never had you on the show to talk about it. So
yeah, it's doing very well, but I'm always happy to talk about it. I'm writing The Saints for Allegiance. It's about a secret group of archaeologists who have banded together to protect the world's great archaeological sites from vandals and destruction, but mostly from a group called Children of the Forge, which seeks to change the future by altering the past. I don't want to go into the details of how they do that, except they're absolutely ruthless, and they force the Saints to get ruthless too. The protagonist is a man named Jean-Marc Lapointe, who's a flamboyant archaeologist, a guy that seeks publicity, which has made him a pariah among staid archaeological circles and the university set, because they don't like anyone standing out and they think he's a bit of a showman. And he is a bit of a showman, but he's very serious about his archaeology and he's serious about trying to preserve the world's great sites. So the saints induct him into their group, and he finds himself in a battle not only for his life, but for the preservation of the earth. Because if the children of the forge succeed, uh, they're going to destroy liberty. They're going to institute a one world government, and they're going to put themselves in charge.
Now I see the symbol of the pyramid used a lot here, which uh, always harkens to the Illuminati. Is that the case here, or is it just a
Yeah.
similar symbol?
Well, we never mentioned the Illuminati, but those symbols have been recurring throughout time, and that's one of the themes of the story, is that the same images show up in archaeological sites that are all over the world. Images of, for instance, that look like a spaceman with a helmet on have appeared in Egyptian tombs as well as Aztec tombs
Oh yeah.
and in Southeast Asian tombs. And of course, this has given rise to all sorts of speculations, such as Ancient Aliens, as a show that's been running for years, is running off that steam, and there's a little bit of that too in the story.
Oh yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And there are these weird connections. I mean, what was it? It's either the Aztecs or the Incans, and I always get them mixed up because they're South American Indian tribes. They have the story of Noah, Noe, who saved his family from a giant flood by building a boat before it got there.
Right?
And they're thousands of miles plus an ocean away from the Middle East. So how did that story get there? Or was it the same story even?
Yeah.
So that's just that weird connections like that. I love that. I love the Ancient Aliens show. I watch it for entertainment, and it also fuels my writing ideas. But are you? I know you can't get too deep into the weeds on the story plot, but are we talking about like a time travel thing or like a?
You would bring that up.
Oh, yeah,
There is a time travel element.
okay.
But people can't travel through time. They send these devices back through time, and the devices attach themselves to whoever touches them, and they start to transform that person. It's like a plague, a cybernetic plague, where you start to lose flesh and bone, and it's being replaced by cybernetics. And at some point, there's a point of no return. You cease to be human, and you're just this creature.
Okay. And that's probably transforms them into something that looks like those astronauts that we've seen in the cave paintings and everything else. That would be. I love time travel elements because there's so much butterfly effect stuff that you can do here. And the butterfly effect, of course, is a Ray Bradbury reference.
Right.
What was it? The Sound of Thunder, where
Yep.
the guy stepped on a butterfly and he just talked about all those years and all that millennia of generations of things that didn't happen now because a butterfly was killed. But I'm thinking, if that machine were to, attach itself to somebody historically important, and remove them from history, how I can't even imagine how your guys fight something like this, because once the device is back there, a person can't go back there. So how can they stop it now? That's an interesting challenge you painted yourself into.
Well, I could say a little more. I better not.
We have R2D2 for life in the chat saying no spoilers, no spoilers.
All right, no spoilers. R2D2,
because he has reserved his copy. So
I saw that. Thank you, R2D2.
So my next question, I guess, would be, what is the motivation of this? Well, you've said it's so they can take over the world, basically, and institute a one world government. But how do they know that it's going to be them that gets to do that by changing the past?
Well, because they're the ones that are altering the world, and they've got it all planned out. And so that when the new tombs are discovered, they're going to point the world in a certain direction. And also, because these cybernetic creatures in the past are going to change something in the past to alter the present, like the butterfly effect. And it may already have happened. In fact,
Yeah.
what we're seeing right now may be the results of the Children of the Forge meddling in the past.
They might have won. Um, yeah, and that's the other thing is, if you're in the present, how do you know if it changed if you weren't able to be
Right.
separate from the present?
Right. You
Um,
don't.
you don't. But there are, there is this thing called the Mandela effect. Have you heard of that, Mike?
Yes, it's named after Nelson Mandela.
Bingo, bingo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
am I,
because
I was joking. Is that right?
no, it is named after Nelson Mandela because there are um, far more than just a handful of people who with absolute certainty recall the fact that they saw on the news and in the newspapers that Nelson Mandela died in prison.
Oh, right.
And that you can't convince them otherwise. But it's like I know he went on to become president, but I swear to God he died in prison. And there's other similar things like that, which I remember the Berenstain Bears. It was spelled with an EIN, not an AIN, and it's always been spelled with an AIN. But it's this misremembered past that has lent credence to these theories that have people accidentally swapped with versions of themselves from an alternate timeline, or has the present changed around them and they still remember some piece of the past that is different now?
Well, that's true. And there are also people who are trying to convince us that the past wasn't as it was.
Well, that happens all the time.
Well, I'm thinking of the 1619 Project.
Yeah. Now, what is their deal?
Their deal is that America was founded on slavery, that the whole country was built on slavery, that this country is nothing but slavery, when in fact this is the freest country in the world.
Yeah. I hate to disappoint them, but the entire world was built on slavery. So, if we have to back up, everybody's got to go back into the primordial pool and just give the world back to nothing. Because unfortunately, we've been using other people to build things forever. And
that's true. However, there's no slavery. Well, I can't say that with certainty because there are people keeping slaves in the United States today, but it's not legal. Every now and then you hear about it, like a Philippine maid will escape from the penthouse resort of some Saudi royals and complain that she's been kept as a slave for 4 years.
Right. Or you get things like that Allison Mack thing where she was with that NXVIM or NVXIM, whatever it's pronounced, where they were keeping, women as slaves in some sort of a cult.
Oh yeah, the cults. That's another form of slavery, but it's not sanctioned by the United States. It's not government policy, and in fact, every normal American shuns slavery and condemns it.
Of course, it's a poor thing to enslave another individual. Now we do it by giving substandard wages for a lot more work, but you're still free to leave. You just can't eat afterwards.
Well, life isn't fair, and I'm not saying that's right, but that's just the way it is.
Exactly. I mean, you're always free to leave.
Well, slaves aren't.
No, they're not.
I mean, these. I don't want to besmirch any of the good Saudis, but there have been a number of these stories over the years that these people are kept under rigid conditions and not allowed to escape. And that's why when they do escape and you hear about it, it's so shocking. And I don't want to finger the Saudis alone. I'm sure that there are drug cartels that keep slaves. I don't know if they're in this country or another country, but we know that slavery still exists throughout the Middle East. There are slaves in Africa today.
Oh, sure. Yeah, slavery. Like I said, slavery's been with us for as long as there's been recorded history. So there's no way to make reparation all the way back to anything else. So, but speaking of the saints, I was like, wow, we veered off on some tangents sometime. So I'm loving the artwork here. Who's doing this art on this? I could scroll up and find out, but
Christian Rosado.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. This doesn't look like what you'd find on a comic book. This looks like what you'd find on an action adventure novel.
Yeah, the whole book is like that.
So that's a lot of time and effort he puts into each panel then, because
Yeah, he's amazing.
it's a movie poster. It's a flipping movie poster.
Yeah.
Now I see. I'm just now examining this thing closely. The poster that I've got pulled up here. I can see the crumbling ruins of the past on the left, and I'm noticing that this isn't quite the present on the far right. This looks like even more futuristic. So,
Well, Christian painted that before I got involved. But there are ninja.
oh, cool. Yes, and they're right there on the cover.
Right.
So the time travel is only going in reverse at this moment. I mean, there's no going
no
forward.
people travel through time, but these devices, once they infect you, and you go into a state of suspended animation while they take over your body, and that body can live for centuries until it's roused from its tomb, and then it's
Oh,
programmed, to work on the behalf of the children of the Forge.
so it could stay in the grave for 100 years, or it could be coming up out of the grave today and do
Yep,
something.
yep.
Talk about your ultimate sleeper agent. So what are we looking at here? This is you got a $60 swag pack, and this is in demand. I don't know how much longer you're going to keep it up.
For a while, I think, because the official campaign ended, and now it's on in demand, which means anybody who wants to get the book can sign up there.
All right. So they can get the swag pack still, and that's going to be the graphic novel, posters, stickers, trading card sets, and a sketchbook. You got a dog right there wants to talk, don't you?
These dogs. Yeah, I got 3 dogs here. I wish I could show them to you, but my camera isn't working.
I'm babysitting Lucy again tonight, so she's sitting outside my door waiting for me to open it up sometime. But she's pretty quiet, unless a bird flies by the window, and then she'll protect the house. But for people just wanting to get the basic package, it's a $25 graphic novel. That's pretty standard. 52 pages.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess probably square bound.
Yes, it will be square bound.
Okay. Very cool. And the bookmark, and then the Allegiance Art sticker. I got the same sticker with the Red Rooster package, which was this package here.
Great.
I don't like the design. And
what, Red Rooster?
The sticker, the square sticker, and I'll tell you why, because I think it looks like the post office design. I'm like, I'd like some. There were 2 stickers, by the way, that came with the Red Rooster. One was the Order of the Golden Dawn one. I really liked that one, but that one looks more like the U.S. Post Office Eagle. But I'm a critic. I've got to critique something, Mike.
Yeah.
Even when I like it. For people who didn't get the Red Rooster book, they can get it with this with an add-on. Just combining everything together. Okay, so this is the one I want to see. What the heck is Ignite? This is a 12-pack of Kill Cliff Ignite.
Oh, it's an energy drink. I think Joe Rogan created it. They partnered with Joe Rogan to offer this energy drink. So Jean-Marc's going to be swilling this stuff throughout the adventure.
So this is a real drink, and he's going to be drinking the real drink in the book. That's some product placement right there. That's rather clever, because normally in comics you make something up or you come up with something near the same thing.
Yeah. And I think that Christian Rosato is doing the design for the cans too. So the cans are going to be collector's items.
Whoa. That is a very cool idea. So will the cans have any design that ties back to the Saints, or is it just going to be, it's the design of the can and we'll use the design in the story?
I'm not sure. Let's take a look here.
You've got a can, don't you?
No, I don't have a can yet. I've yet to see. It's going to be sold at Walmart, though.
Oh, wow.
See. There are those cans. Here we go. Kill Cliff energy drinks.
Now that's not named after the story in any way, is it? I mean, it's
Oh wait, I'm looking at these cans. Let's see. I don't see any art here, but maybe it's coming. I'll suggest that, and I think they're probably going to go with it. I may be wrong about the art on the cans, but the cans are very striking in and of themselves.
yeah, they are. Uh, and this is a 12 pack of the energy drink. So it's like 4x3 in a case here. That's why it's $54, because I can't imagine what it would cost to ship a case of drinks.
Well, here we have Killcliff Fight Club. He's a proud partner bringing you the ultimate clean energy team. I think they might be connected with mixed martial arts. Oh yeah, Robbie Lawler, the
There you
man,
go.
the myth, the legend, former UFC welterweight champion, future UFC Hall of Famer. He's drinking the Killcliff. Israel Adesanya is drinking the Killcliff. Ryan Bader is drinking the Killcliff. All these MMA guys are drinking Killcliff.
Poor Cliff, he's going to die.
That's good to know. You remember? I don't know. Do you follow MMA?
Not really, I don't.
Because there was a group doing design wear years ago. I can't remember who they were, but they just disappeared. It seems like if you follow MMA, various companies rise and fall. Right now, Venom is real big. You see any MMA show, and the competitors are wearing shorts that say Venom. So I think Venom is on the rise.
I wonder if they're tied in any way to the Marvel Comics character that's getting the movies.
No, not at all. It's spelled Venum.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever they need to do then to keep it separate. I guess they had to because of the movie then.
Yeah, boy, there are a lot of MMA styled clothing companies. I wouldn't believe this.
Oh yeah. You want to dress
Extreme
like them?
Couture, UFC Venom, Fight Scrapper, Blackbeard. I can't remember that company that was years ago. I wish they were everywhere. Now you can't see them all at all. They must have disappeared.
R2D2 for Life says if Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this, he's going to flip out.
Well, I don't know if Arnold is in it. We can put him in it. We still have time.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the Expendables. The Expendables go to hell. There R2. But speaking of crowdfunded books, while I have the opportunity here, we'll take a brief recess here. I got these in the mail this week. This is a book called The Ghetto Dragon, and it is black and white throughout, and this thing weighs like 5 pounds, and it's only like 60 pages because he used really heavy stock paper and very bright white paper too, by the way. It's every page inside is just as white as this cover, so the ink is very stark against it.
Have you read it?
I have not opened it and read it yet. I'm going to. I've scanned through it. I like the pictures. For instance, this is a colorized picture of one of them. I'm going to give it full screen here for a second, Mike, because you got to see this. This is from inside the book, and this is the student and the master, and he's like, basically, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. And here's the master in one panel kicking his ass all the way across the dojo.
Does it seem realistic to you?
The martial arts, yeah, they're not. They don't look like they're stupidly over realistic or stupidly fantastic. They look like they're in a position where everything flows. But I just thought this was really nice use of panel.
Well, there's color. Those are color pages.
This is a print.
Oh, I see.
That's an 11 by 17 print that he sent extra, and it did get colored. But yeah, I mean, if I were to, why not? I will open the book. I mean, I have opened it before. I just put it back in the bag. So this is Julius Freeman Comics, and you can see it's all black and white. There's no grayscale in here, except for the very front page. No retreat, no surrender. The chapter page sections are that way. And he's in on the action. This is like page 4, so it doesn't take long before things start taking off. And he sees
that That looks pretty good. That looks like real choreography there.
Yeah, he sees somebody getting kidnapped, taking a girl in a van, and he just runs after them and does his thing. So again, I don't know his origin yet. I don't know anything else. I'm looking for some more martial arts action. Okay, here's some. Didn't have to go too far for that.
Yeah, I like it. It's what I'm all about, is realistic and dynamic martial arts.
Well, I think Julius Freeman, and if you want to follow him on Twitter, he's a_lucid_comic. And like I said, it's a hefty book, even for being saddle stitched. I don't know if it's because of the paperweight or what, but it's and I've never seen a black and white book literally be black and white on the inside. Um, and then the other book I got today is from Tug, the Another Case for the Littlest Umbrella. So that's that umbrella guy's book. He of course does these for his daughter because she's getting into comics with her daddy. So I picked the cover where they left her a blank area to draw her own picture in. So this is art by S.K. Bennett, but also by Little Umbrella Girl because she drew in the blank area here and they made that the cover. So she's like 6, maybe 7 now.
Send me a link to that A Lucid guy. I can't find him. By the way, if you look in your Twitter feed,
Oh, yes, I will.
I sent you something. I'm going to announce it here because the campaign starts next week. I've written a graphic novel called Thin Blue Line about 2 police officers trying to survive a night in a riot-torn city. My artist is a full-time police officer, and he's also a superior jiu-jitsu practitioner. And we have martial arts in this book too, and they are beautifully choreographed.
Okay, yeah. We talked about this offline for a little bit once
Yeah.
before, and so yeah. Tell us about this one here because this looks like Portland is burning.
Yeah, it takes place in a city I created in Illinois, a fictional city. And everyone will be able to identify with this story. It's about what happened during the last summer and what's continuing to happen now in some cities in the United States. And it's kind of a pushback to the defund the police movement. Now, we all know there are bad cops, but the overwhelming number of policemen are men of goodwill who really want to help society. And I know that because I know a number of police officers, and I've had encounters with them where they were very helpful. And these people who want to defund the police are fools. How casually they discard the hard-won wisdom of the ages. You're either for the rule of law or you're not.
Yeah.
Civilization depends on the rule of law, and it depends on the rule of law being applied equally to everyone. Now, we know that's not happening now, but we all recognize the need for the rule of law. That's what civilizations are built on, common understandings uh, and proscriptions uh, against behavior that's hostile or works against civilization. You got to have police. They're I'm not going to say they're a necessary evil because they're not necessarily evil. But no society can function without a clear understanding of what's permissible and what isn't.
I'm looking at the crowd that is surrounding the police officers here, and you've got it's a microcosm of everything we've seen at multiple protests all brought
Yes.
together. You've got the burning flag, you've got the F the police, you got the peaceful protest newspaper headline there. So given the environment and with the reminder that this is 2021, what are you anticipating as a response to the book?
Well, I think that the usual suspects are going to rain down hatred on me, but they've been doing that for years, and I don't care. But I think that there is a great audience out there, a vast untapped audience for this type of story, which kind of restores a little balance to what we've been seeing in popular media in recent years. And I think that this is the kind of thing that Marvel would have done 30 or 40 years ago. But now they're unable to do it for a whole bunch of reasons, mostly due to the decisions they've made. And so we're doing it. But I have to emphasize that, as always, my first goal is to entertain. This is a very gripping story. It's not didactic at all. There are no lectures. I know
Yeah.
how to show, don't tell.
Yeah, you're not a preacher.
No, and there it covers the whole spectrum of activity. It's very even-handed, and when you read it, you'll understand what I mean. It's not rah rah police no matter what. It's not like that. We recognize that there are failures among our police officers, just as we recognize there are failures among our citizens.
So this is coming out from Blue Line Comics. Is that a new imprint now? Are you starting something new, or is this somebody else's contracted with you to do this?
No, this is the same people. Well, not the same people, but I've been working with Chris Brawley. Chris was the guy who engineered our Florida Man campaign, and he will be doing the next one. We're about to begin work on the second Florida Man graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
And Chris is a great guy. He's the #1 videographer in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he lives. And he's also one of the driving forces behind Bleeding Fool.
Yes. Yeah, I've talked with Chris many times. He's very talented. He did the video
Right.
for your Florida Man campaign.
Yeah,
and,
the best video ever done for a crowdfunded comic.
I think so. I'm looking forward to the launch. I hope I get to be part of it again this time.
That would be great.
It was very it was a learning experience getting to work with the data and come up with the packing lists and everything for get our shipping business kind of off the ground here with a dry run. And I don't know if you knew that we did that, because I was working with Chris most of the time on that. But
no, I didn't know.
Yeah, we assisted with the packing list so everything could get packed up quickly and efficiently. But that's one of the two things one of the many things we do here now. We ship, we help people who are international crowdfunders ship into the United States. We're working on shipping out of the United States to other countries. And then I just found out this week that there are people in Brazil who are exceedingly talented artists. They tell great comic stories. They want to crowdfund, but guess what? They can't open an Indiegogo in their country. And they can't open a Kickstarter in their country. So seeing a hole and filling it, I'm like, well, guess what Critical Blast Logistics is now going to start doing? We're going to go from soup to nuts. We will host your crowdfunder and run the delivery. So
Christian lives in Peru.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. Christian is the artist on
The Saints, Christian Rosado.
Okay.
I just throw that in there. But the artists that finished the Florida Man comic are both Brazilian, and they're both brilliant. Elias Martins, I've been working with him for years, and Marcelo Osado. Let me show you. This isn't the iconic poster that Elias Martins created for Florida Man. Where is that baby?
Is that coming up in my DM here?
It will be in a second.
All right.
Here it is. All right. And this poster is available. It's enormous, by the way.
I see it and I share it.
Yeah, it's 24 by 36.
I love that. PG-13. This looks like I want to go to the theaters and see this movie.
Yeah, well, the comic is PG-13, just barely. Because, Florida Man he's a little sleazy. He's a little seedy.
So this is going to be available with the second campaign?
Oh, it's available right now if you go to FloridaManComics.com.
Let me put that link in the chat, folks, because you want to do that.
And the book is available, and so is the lunchbox and the towel.
Yeah, because there's merch sitting out
Yeah,
there to be
merch.
had.
And of course, the towel design is famous.
Yes.
Let me send you that towel design. I have not yet to show that the towel. I've yet to take it to the pool. I'm afraid what the reaction will be, but I'm going to. I mean,
I wouldn't want to get it wet. I mean, I
no,
wouldn't want to get it sun faded or have to wash it. That that would not that would be a towel that I would turn into a tapestry.
yeah. Oh, I remember what I saved it under. Copper tone. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And if you're wondering in the chat, folks, why it's called copper tone, you will wonder no more when we bring this picture up here.
There it is.
It is a gorgeous piece of art. Boom, and boom.
Yeah, you can get
So
that on a towel.
PG-13 still, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
there's one page in the book that we cannot discuss, but it's the key to the whole story. Have you read the book?
I have read the book. I
Yeah,
have the
well,
book
you know what page
behind me.
I'm talking about. It's the page drawn by Vale Myerick.
Yeah, yeah. We can't talk about that one.
No, we can't talk. We can't even. Well, we could, but
we
I
we'd have like the mothers of the mothers of decency would come down on us.
right. We prefer to have readers discover that for themselves.
So, I, damn it, Mikey! Every time you send me this picture, I'm like, my brain cell. I don't have any blood left in my brain to operate thought.
Right.
Yep, I'm gonna have. Is that available as a print?
I'm not sure.
Because I know it's a postcard and I know it's a towel, but damn it, that was a print. If that was an 11x17 print like the one I just showed you with the martial arts thing, I'd be putting that up on my wall in a
I
heartbeat.
will mention that to Chris, and perhaps we will offer that as a print. We're discussing offering the cover on a T-shirt.
That would work well too.
Yeah, I know. I think it would.
You got a couple of different designs that would work well on things. Now I'm looking. I'm gonna look behind my. Okay, so I've got the Florida Man sticker behind me here, where you got the logo, the state of Florida. It makes the L. But you've got that whole that cheerleader that's jumping over the Florida Man thing.
That's Todd Mulrooney's iconic design. Here's another version of the copper tone ad. This is by Marcello. We might offer them both.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's one in more of a portraiture mode.
Yeah, it's a different design, but it's a very effective graphic.
Yeah. Oh, she's got a bit of a rounder booty too. But she's also off to the side now. You're not getting the full on moon. You're not getting the full moon. You're getting a half moon.
Right.
But actually, I think Marcelo has. I'm going to mix it up here. I think Todd had a better model figure, and Marcelo's got a better gator.
That's right.
But they're both great.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me seeing them both together of that thing that J. Scott Campbell did with the draw this challenge he did, which was brilliant on his part, because he got into a bit of an online entanglement. Somebody fixed one of his drawings, and then and then he fixed their fix, and it was like, oh, you're punching down. He's like, well, quit saying you're fixing the artwork. Why don't you just say, I'm drawing this in my style?
Right.
And then he threw out that black cat image and said, draw this in your style, hashtag thing. And there were hundreds of people that got going. That thing just became a really positive event online that he was able to salvage out of what could have been a mass cancellation effort from the typical suspects.
I may have to kick these dogs out.
I'm trying to bring the Saints page back up now.
Yeah.
There it is. It was hidden behind the other thing, because
Right.
I'm down to this lapel pin perk here. Now that's got me intrigued, because I would love to put that on my suit jacket lapel and just see how many Masons will shake hands with me afterwards.
the secret sign. That's how the saints can recognize one another.
Well, well, this one's got the eyeball at the top of on the very face of the pyramid. Of course, there is the the similar design on the back of the dollar bill. So these guys have been at it for a while.
Well, that's one of those symbols that appears in all cultures at all times.
The all-seeing eye.
The all-seeing eye of Amagato.
Yes, I was going to say that from right out of Doctor Strange. So you got the sketchbook here. Is this reproducing the book in sketch form, or is this
I think that it's Christian's preliminary sketches, and it's like a lot of great artists. He draws all the characters, so he knows what they look like and tries to get familiar with them, and it's just filled with Christian's art.
Very cool. And then you got the collector's pack where, again, this is everything gets in here. That your name gets inscribed in the book.
Yes.
Always a kind of a nice thing to get. And then also for 100, you've got the 5 saints graphic. So you can get 5 of these things and save $25 pretty much. It's basically buying 4 and getting 1 for free.
Yeah. And it would make a wonderful gift because it's a good story. And again, I have to emphasize that these stories that we're putting out will not disappoint you like so much of the offerings of the big two have lately. Our purpose is to entertain. We never lose sight of that. And I know how to grab a reader by the throat and draw him into the story to the exclusion of all else. And to do that, every part of the story has to be entertaining. There are no flat parts. There are no wasted panels. There's no marking space waiting for something to happen. Every panel advances the story.
And the panels look great. Of course, doesn't look like a panel from the book though. This looks like an ad.
It is an ad.
This is the Flaming Joe edition of the Kill Cliff Ignite. So now it's Kill Cliff Ignite Flaming Joe limited edition, and he's swilling this throughout. So
yeah.
Oh, now we're getting into some of the page. So this is the interior artwork here, folks.
Yes, that's from the very first issue. In fact, I think that's page 1.
Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to be paying for with the Saints. This is good stuff. Now, I've read all the other Allegiance Arts titles, and they're all quality material. So it doesn't surprise me that this is just as good as those. So this looks like, wow, this is kind of like a mesh of Anubis and Kali.
Yeah. That's in a temple in Pakistan where they first encounter one of these people that have been infected with a cybernetic virus.
And of course, the person that they're encountering should have been dead for a very long time.
Well, actually, this is it's a new guy. It's an archaeologist himself who discovered this tomb, and he found the device line inside, and he picked it up, and that's one way you can contract the virus. Now, the Children of the Forge do that deliberately. I mean, they send these things into the past because they know that whoever touches them is going to be infected.
And whether it's a person in the past or somebody who discovers it in the future.
Right.
So did you draw much on the old the Mummy story, the Universal movie kind of character?
No, only to the extent that there is a tomb opening in issue number 2, I believe, that takes place in Saudi Arabia, an undiscovered tomb, but and there might be some parallels with the Mummy story, although I think the Saints is a more gripping story and more believable.
Oh yeah, the Mummy was a slog to get through, but
yeah,
the idea that you think he's been dead for 1,000 years and now you open him up and he's moving on.
Right.
I saw that parallel there. The Mummy's really just a zombie story.
Tana leaves.
Oh,
Remember the Tana leaves?
yes, yes.
Bring me Tana leaves.
Oh. Now, so this nun, she looks like she knows what's going on.
Um, well, I believe that the Vatican financed this trip to that tomb, and they're a little shocked by what they discovered. But then the Vatican pulls out because they don't like what's going on.
Okay. Well, I like the crucifix appearing behind her in shadow form. That's
Yeah,
nice subliminal. Because I mean, it's just a what is it? Not um, it's just a background. It's a not a distinct background, and but yet there it is because it is the saints. So so why is it called? Why do they call themselves the saints? I mean, that's are they run by the Catholic Church?
I think that initially that was the reason that they were affiliated with the church. Patrick Stiles is the guy that created the Saints, and he wrote the first 15 pages, and then he handed it off to me. Uh, and I wrote an outline, and on the basis of that outline, they gave me the project. But of course, every time I write an outline, and this is true, and you know this is true, that once you start writing the story, you invariably deviate from the outline.
Oh yeah, yeah, you got to. But in a situation like this where you inherit something from another writer, it's being passed along, um, do you get anything in the way of a story Bible? I know
Oh
I did.
yes, oh yes, yes. I got a very complete rundown from Patrick, a very detailed outline of what he hopes to see happen.
Okay, so you know where what their end goal was, even if you have other goals that you can give them along the way and newer adventures. Then
Well, no, actually, the end goal was left up to me, and we're trying to uh, uh, end it on. It will finish the storyline, and it'll have a satisfactory ending, uh, but it will be open to further adventures, of course.
oh okay, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking again of an ongoing comic book series. I forgot this is full blown graphic novel, beginning to end. Okay, sorry about that. I have brain farts at my age, Mike.
Me too.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me, I think naturally things like the librarians, the Da Vinci Code, uh, even something like American National Treasure, which
I saw that recently, and I thought the sets were magnificent, and it was kind of entertaining.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
but when they get to that last set, this incredibly huge warehouse beneath New York City that goes on for miles and miles, but
yeah,
why not? I mean, a comic book wouldn't hesitate to do that. I would say the Saints is a more credible story, though.
time travel included is more credible than National Treasure. Yeah,
Right.
I just like the idea of following. I like the idea of a scavenger hunt that leads you from one place to the next, and it's been sitting there in plain sight for a couple of centuries.
That's
Um,
always good.
yeah, that was what was in the Da Vinci Code that I liked. Whether or not you wanted to believe this whole Merovingian line story or not, the fact that hey, this means to this and this leads to that, and it's always been right there. Um, so I just looked over at the bookmark here, and I had to read bookmark because I'm like, whoa, what tier is it where I get this flat with all the weapons on it? Because this looked like something you get like at the dollar store for your 10-year-old boy. Say, here, go out and play commando. It's all these plastic weapons and stuff. Uh,
Right.
that's very nice. So that's his whole gear set on the back of the Saints bookmark. Uh, and again, it's got the secret society symbol on it. So when is this going to ship here? November, right around the corner, really.
Yeah.
Any concern that it's going to make it? I mean, you're done with the story, right?
No, I have one more issue to write.
What by one more issue, you mean one more chapter? Because it is all in one book, right?
No, well, no, the graphic novels can be 55 pages, including the first two comics, but it's a 6 issue series. So if they're all collected, it's going to be a big, fat book.
I forgot the Allegiance Arts model, and I don't know why why I could do that, because it's kind of infamous now. But so this is gonna be 6 issue series. You can get all 6 issues. I'm gonna guess at Walmart.
That's right.
Okay, uh, great distribution model. Um, I think we were just kind of surprised when it happened. But get the graphic novel. Um, so yeah, this is a question for Mitch, not for you, I guess, because with November being right around the corner, I don't know if that means that the first issue will be in Walmart in November, and then we wait a couple of issues before we get the graphic novel, or vice versa, if it'll be graphic novel first this time around.
I think it's the graphic novel first, then the issues are going to start appearing. Of course, the graphic novel is going to go out to backers, and they'll have it in their hands before the issues hit Walmart.
Yeah, I think that's what backers expected the first time around, and hopefully, that's what happens this time, and everyone will be like, okay, everything's fine and groovy now. Let's all get behind Allegiance Arts, because they do good stuff. Every book I've picked up from Allegiance Art, I have liked. I gave a middling review to Red Rooster because I was like, it's not finished yet. I need more. This book stopped too soon. But leaving them wanting more isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
So what are you working on also now? I mean, you're never just working on one project, Mike.
No, and most of the writers I know are always working on multiple projects. I'm working on a Western with Pat Broderick called Bronze Star, and it's the best work that Pat has ever done. The art is just going to make your jaw hit the floor, and it's a great story too. And we're talking to some potential publishers about that. Richard Bonk is almost finished illustrating the Nexus graphic novel I wrote for him that Dark Horse will publish. And of course, there's the Kelsey Shannon's issue of Nexus is at the printer now, and I hope to have copies in my hand next week. Richard Meyer published those, and it's the first of 3 issue series.
Yeah, Nexus is showing up in a couple of different places under a couple of different publishers now.
I talked to Dude today, and he's nearly, well, I don't know how close he is to the end, but he's writing a big saga called Thune World that he's illustrating himself. And I know he said he was on page 62. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm sure he's closer to the end than the beginning. And if you want to know what the Dude's Nexus reads like, you should order The Coming of Gormondo, which is available on his website. Although I'm credited as one of the writers, it's really the Dude's story. And it was based on his, years ago, he said, what's the ultimate Nexus story? And I just said right away, Nexus versus Galactus. But we can't use Galactus, so we created Gormondo. And then when Dude took over the writing on that, I decided to write my first Nexus novel. And that's what the Nexus novel is about. And the Nexus novel is out. We fulfilled our campaign. We sent one to every backer, and now it will be published this fall by Wordfire Press.
All right, I found the link to The Coming of Gormondo. Throw it into the chat so that people can follow along and click that. We got to get the Dude on the stream sometime. You two together, just talk about Nexus for an hour.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's make that happen sometime.
All right.
Sooner rather than later. He'll listen to you more than he'll listen to me. He doesn't know me from Adam. And then, of course, we got the. When are you going to launch Thin Blue Line?
Next week, I believe.
Oh,
very soon. Very soon.
Okay, I've got to make a note to call Chris. I'm writing this down. I've got to get Chris online. Say, okay, hit me up when you do this, so we can go push it hard. All right. Well, Mike, this looks like a cool set. Thank you so much for bringing it to us tonight. I wish I'd have known it was out earlier. Could help get you across the finish line. But
thank you, RJ.
You didn't need my help. You're at $17,042 on it.
Well, it should be 10 times that.
I agree.
But we don't have the name, the big name. Like if we're a Frank Miller project, it'd be through the roof. And also, I got to tell you that this is a book you're going to treasure. It's not a book you'll forget. And I think that our stuff stands out from the field of comics, stands out way high for the quality of the work in every aspect. And these are stories you won't forget.
Yeah. In fact, of all the Allegiance Arts things I've seen, this is the first one that I think has a shot at getting a film adaptation.
That'd be great.
So, because I already see Chris Hemsworth in that suit, in that leading
Yeah,
character.
it does kind of look like him.
So that would be very cool. So good luck to Mitch on getting that done. I'd love to see that happen, and I support it wholeheartedly. Mike, I'm going to let you get back to Ann and the dogs, and again, we'll talk again soon. Always love to have you on the show.
Thank you, RJ.
Folks in the chat, appreciate you so much being here. Never ask you to like the video, but I do ask you to share it so you can get the project out in front of more eyeballs. Want to remind you, we do have a membership level, and we are monetized with super chats now. I don't ask for those. If you want to do them, fine. We've had 2 in the last 2 months since we've been monetized. So it's not really a part of the show, but we'll do it if you do it. But if you want to do it in the next couple of shows, the bill is coming due for the website. So it's like, oh, that snuck up on me. So now I'll start funding the thing with make it pay for itself a little bit if I can. And we appreciate you being here. And as always, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.